Welcome to another episode of All Things Entrepreneur, where we shine a light on the blind side of entrepreneurship. It is your host, Everett Allen, with
Jessica Myers. How you feeling today?
blessed and highly favored as usual. How about yourself?
Oh, I love it. I'm living the dream, but not as dreamy as our guest today. How are you feeling, Mr. Everett Allen?
Man, I'm blessed to be here, man. Thank you again for the opportunity, to come in here and just talk, the culture.
Yes, ex-NBA player, ex-professional athlete, my apologies, ex-professional athlete. Got a financial consulting firm, secure the legacy, not secure the bag, secure the legacy, husband, father, just overall serial entrepreneur. We're blessed to have you on the show today, good sir.
Awesome. So yeah, it feels good, man.
So how does that work? Like how does the transition go? Because I know a lot of people who have played, they've been athletes for their whole life, really growing up. They were all in athletics and then transitioning to entrepreneurship and taking a bet in a different way. And what transferable skills do you find that can help you, that helped you in the field, that now help you in life?
Man, and it was a journey. It was a journey. And so just to kind of bring you guys up to speed, my entire life I've been known by, Jason Allen before, I started doing, financial work. So, my whole life playing basketball, I'm Jay. Jason Allen, but my full name's Everett Jason Allen. And so I grew up, and, really basketball to me was just an outlet. And I was just very competitive as a kid. I was just very competitive, and I wanted to win, like, all the time. Like, that's, I hated to lose. And so I really just, focused on basketball. Like, I probably focused a little too much because my grades wasn't nothing in high school, man. So I, grew up in Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. I went to a school called Piedmont High School. It was right outside of the city, and I actually was known for the actual school. Like, people used to call me Piedmont because they know if they was playing Piedmont, they had to go against Jason Allen. And so, man,
wow.
It's definitely been a journey. Went to junior college because my grades wasn't, up to par, but, I went to a junior college and, actually learned how to be a student in college, and I was on one of the best teams in junior college and ranked in the top 10. I got a scholarship to Cal Poly State, which is in San Luis Obispo, California, on the central coast of California. A lot of people don't know, it's like right next to where Michael Jackson Ranch was at, like Santa Maria,
Oh, wow.
And so, I went from, being this kid, growing up playing basketball. Now I'm, on the beach, having fun, probably a little too much fun. But, it was my last game in college, and we were playing on ESPN, and I had a really good game, but we lost. I missed the last shot to go to the NCAA, the big dance. Mm-hmm. And I got a call a couple days later from an agent in Switzerland, and he just said, "Hey, and I watched you on TV. Man, I think you got what it takes to play in the pros, here in Europe. And, that next season, I got an opportunity." And so,
wow.
I played in, over 12 countries, kind of traveling Europe and playing. And, just before it, right before I got, that big shot to, get to the NBA, I actually, hurt my knee in a game where I had, 40 points in the third quarter. And, shouldn't even be out there anymore. I'm still playing, and, my foot hit another player's front foot, and, man, I just felt something, strange. And so, the next few years I'm trying to, get back to, 100%, and then I hurt it again, so same leg. And so I was like, man, at this point, I was really trying to kind of, trying to reinvent myself. And my older brother, Steve McQuarrie, got me to, move out to Nashville, Tennessee. I was in Oklahoma City just kind of going through the motions, just trying to find myself. You're talking about, like, how do you transition from being, that guy in your city, to, like, not being able to play anymore. And so it was devastating, but, I always tried to, keep a positive mindset. Try to let myself know that, man, my story's not over. I'm still building my story. I just need to figure out, what I want to do next. Moved to Nashville not knowing anybody, except for my brother. Like, that was the one person that I knew. And the funny part about moving to Nashville is, how I decided to make that my place. Like, I went out with him that first night, and I seen like
honky tonk.
I seen three ugly dudes with like nice looking girlfriends. And I was like, man, look, I could come here and win. I could come here and win. And so, here I am, this new guy moving into the new city, young, I think I was maybe 26 at the time, driving around Nashville in the Jaguar, and in my first, few weeks there, I, had, girlfriends that were flying from all over the country because, it's a lifestyle, It was the basketball.
You gotta have them
dude.
flying in.
You know what I'm saying? They were flying in,
Getting flued out.
And so,
Oh, no, you wasn't paying for He wasn't paying for They was paying.
So they was flying in, and they was spending their money on me. So, one of my, new friends now, he was like, bro, you ice cold. Like, I'm going to start calling you Ice Cold J. And so, because I had this music background and, I was always that guy in the locker room, just kind of freestyling, like rapping, just having fun. He was like, man, you got a nice flow. Like, I think you should try this thing. And so I actually started, recording music.
Wow.
And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I can try, making music. And so I went from, never recording songs at all to actually running my own independent label. And I got, everything that a label would have, from, models to, engineers to producers to, even people that build websites. Like, I had my own thing and, called Team Certified. Like, that was something that, I went through. And so.
And how old was you at this point?
27.
27.
27 is that magical year.
Yeah.
27.
They call it the Saturn return.
27.
That's
and so,
amazing.
So now I'm rapping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm Ice Cold J now. I'm not even Jason no more. I'm Ice Cold J. And so I went through that, man, and I learned so much just like running my own like independent like label. And, of course, now I'm back into a role when you're talking about like attributes. Like, I was always the captain of my team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no matter what team I was on, I was the point guard. And so I had to know each person plays where they were supposed to be so I can put them in place. And so I just applied those same attributes to, a music career where I worked hard, made music, shot videos and things like that. And I got my music to the point where I was like, okay, Nashville's not big enough. Let's try this on a bigger stage. And so at the time, of course, I had a family now. Wife had just graduated from nursing school. It was like, look, let's go try. Let's try Atlanta. Came out to Atlanta.
Best decision ever.
Came out to Atlanta, not knowing anybody again, like Slick, except for my family. So we moved out here. Bought a nice house, Gwinnett County. Built a house from scratch, whatnot. And okay, now I got an opportunity to, start something else. And so now I'm, still doing artistry. I'm like, let's take it to the next level. Got an opportunity to start a nightclub, and so I started a sports bar called Pregame. It's right down the street from, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, right there over there by Clark, off of Joseph Lowry and Martin Luther King. Mm-hmm. And so I spent 2 years like building that up, investing into it. And, we get right to Super Bowl, right? When we had the Super Bowl
2019.
here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And, that's when COVID hit. COVID hit like that right there in 2020. What was that, 2020 and COVID hit?
Yep.
March 13th.
And
I remember. Shut it down.
You guys remember that we were seeing this like little news and stuff like what's going on in China. Like, it's gonna never get over here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we went through a phase where it was like, man, black people can't get COVID. Like, come on, y'all remember that? We was like, man, everybody we done seen.
Atlanta stayed open.
Everybody we done seen has been white so far, And then so it hit us. then it hit us. And so we went from making all of our income, from people coming in where, I've booked, Bootsy and Project Pat and, had, Ferrari in there and, all different types of, Atlanta celebrities in the spot. But now we get to a situation where now we can only have 10 people in the building, including us. And we didn't set the business up to be a food place. It was a place where we made our money off the bar, like primarily. And so, we fell into some hard times, and then that kind of led me to doing like, all right, let me just audit everything. All right, so now I'm auditing the business, and I find out like one of my partners is stealing.
Stealing money out the business.
Stealing money out the business. Stealing money out the business.
Oh my gosh.
And so, all right. So now I'm in a Godfather like Fredo situation where I'm like, okay, my life is flashing before my eyes. Like I can do something bad or I can do something and just walk away. And so I just walked away from like that whole thing. And I said, okay, I got this license to help people and to, help people's finance. Like, let me just put my all into this now, since we're all doing, social distancing now. Now I can run appointments without actually having to leave. Mm-hmm. And so that's when, I said, okay, now we Everett Allen now. And so I hope that answered the question. Kind of bring you up to speed.
You literally flowed right into a lot of the things that transferred, like, because it sounds like the theme is just the will to win. And the will to see it, and you pivot rather quickly because the way you're able to go into a whole new city, don't know anybody, and you're able to come back out with the super cape.
Yeah,
it's like you figure something out.
And I like the one point you really highlighted again, being a point guard, knowing everyone else's position, role, where they have to be, what they got to do, so they can be in a position to win. You transfer that to business too. So yes, you eloquently answered that question. So let's take it to today now. Got Secure the Legacy. What does that look like? What's going on? What's it doing?
Man, super blessed at this present moment. Now I'm in a stage now where I've mastered, how to help clients from, getting out of debt, to creating your own private bank, to college funding for kids, to tax-free retirement, to guaranteeing that you won't ever run out of money in retirement, to protecting people's income, protecting the mortgage. And so now I'm in a stage of just duplication. Now I'm duplicating myself, because if I can go out here and make, 6 figures, not working 40-hour weeks, making my own schedule, doing everything I need to be, being present with my kids and having true time, money, freedom. Now let's duplicate this and help more people by unlocking more people to get the same kind of results that I've been getting. So it's been amazing. Like I hired 4 people today, like right before I got in the car and came over here. Like I just hired 4 people that's saying, look, I'm ready to do this. And so these last 2 months, I've hired 30 people. And so, I'm looking forward to, this time next year when, I have, maybe 50, 100 people that are, kind of getting the same results, and I'm getting by passive income to where now there's $100,000 coming in, and I'm not exactly helping the same amount of people I was helping.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. It's like you work back your time to get back. So it's like, hey, this is the most valuable currency, so let me buy back my time, and leveraging your network. Getting other people on your team to help expand and grow your vision even greater than what you can do.
That's right.
Wow.
So one of the things that I know we hear about it, whether it be, football, basketball, what have you, life after sports. And there's 2 segments, maybe even more segments. There's a segment right now of people who have already gone through it. They did their time, they made their money, and now they're back into the real world, but no square one to work with per se. And then you got other people who may be young kids who are in college or high school right now, gunning for the big leagues to make that money. What would be some advice now, having gone through that process a part
Man,
of life?
I love that question. I love that question. You know what? I'm gonna bring it right to you where you can understand it. Because you said you play football, right?
Yes, sir.
What position did you play?
Tight end.
Tight end. All right. So in football, right? Football. Let's relate football to life. All right. You're gonna love this. All right. So it's three aspects that you have to have if you want to succeed in football and in life. The first one is alignment. Alignment. You know what alignment is?
That's my
right?
word for the year.
Right.
That's literally my word for the year.
So alignment, right? We got to be aligned up in the right way to where we can run this play.
Yeah.
We got to be in the right position first.
Yes.
First, we got to put ourselves in position. All right. So the next phase is assignment. Like now that we in position, like what is our strategy to run this play effectively?
Yep.
All right. And then the last one is execution. Right. This is something that, we have to put the rubber to the road. That's what, it get real and you got to make it happen. And now we can measure our results. Right. So those three phases is like life. But it also relates to sports. And so I got a saying that, I've been kind of, pushing, and it says, athletes make great agents, because, we can use the same tools that, I used to use to shoot fadeaways, right, to get you up off me, to create separation, and I can use that to win in the business aspect.
I love it. I love it. So much of my journey I've understood is about the peaks and the valleys. Is it best, do you feel, as far as having wealth and having to rebuild maybe from a loss, or not having seen it at all and on that pursuit of this is the first time? Like, as far as seeing clients and even you and your journey of what you've gone through the peaks, valleys. Because, one of the things about having wealth, you may go through something and you lose it, but then that valley, or getting out of that valley to get back to the peak again.
Yeah, so that's interesting too, because there's two parts of it. The first part is that I've learned in my journey that we're never really there. When you talk about peaks and valleys, like what is it? So you work your butt off and you get to this stage, and then you get there, and is life over? Do you quit? Or do you find another like peak for you to climb up? Right? And so we're never there. And I don't think we're ever supposed to be there, because we're always growing. We're always adapting. We're always adding to ourselves. And so that's big, because I used to think, man, if I make this play, man, yeah, we're going to be straight. And then I make the play and I make it happen. I'm like, but we're still not there. And so you just got to keep growing. So having a growth mindset is number one. Number two is you got to take accountability with your own life, and you got to put yourself in position where nobody can hurt you, but yourself. And at the end of the day, I mean, we're pretty much, you got to make it happen for yourself. You really got to do. You got to make it happen. You got at some point it got to stop being everybody else's fault, and you got to take responsibility. It's your fault.
Yeah.
And so those two lessons have really like stuck out over everything. Is that I'm never really gonna be there, and if I want to get there, I'm gonna have to make all the changes that I need to make sure that I get there. And it's nobody else's fault. And so,
that's interesting. I love it.
What would you say would be one of the? Because again, there is a process, it's a journey. What would you say would be one of the storms, hurdles, one that almost took you out, that you had to overcome and grow through in any phase, whether it be with the professional basketball, whether it be with the artist industry stuff, or whether it be with the Secure the Legacy? What would you say was one of the top two hurdles you had to overcome?
Well, the main one is, we touched about it earlier, and that's just mindset. And then the second one is schedule. You look at somebody like, let's say, I don't know, somebody that's successful. You look at them, they still got the same 24 hours you got. Like, what are they doing different with their 24 that you doing with yours? And so that's what I think about all the time. And if you look at, they say success leaves clues. You look at somebody's schedule, and you could tell like how successful they're going to be just based on their schedule.
Okay.
You know, if you look at it, and so one of the things that I've been doing with myself, and it's a challenge every day, is that I make sure that like during the times that I'm going to be working, like I am working like every minute of the time that I say I'm going to be working. And then I got like reminders like every couple hours to say, okay, well, did you work every hour? Did you go eat some popcorn? Like what did you do?
Yeah.
Like, did you take a break? Was you working every single time that you said you was going to be working? And so just kind of grading myself on a daily basis based on my schedule, and I think that's where the real gold is. Like one of the best players that I saw growing up besides Jordan is Kobe. A lot of people don't know Kobe is working out 3 times a day.
Oh, wow.
3 times a day. Like when he played with, the USA team and he's with the best players in the country, and some of these dudes was coming in like from partying and they see Kobe in the elevator. Kobe's going to work out where these dudes is coming in from the club.
Yep.
And so they was like, "Where you going?" He was like, "I'm going to work out." Where y'all at? They just coming in like still smelling like whatever, And so, but Kobe's mindset was, okay, if I work out 3 times a day, for a year, I'm going to be a lot better than my peers right now. If I do that for 2 years, for 3 years,
it'll add up.
There's no way that they can catch up to me. And so that's the same approach that I'm trying to take with my business now. So I'm waking up at 5 a.m., doing what I need to do, with the software that I have, recruiting, then I'm, taking the kids, to school, then I'm coming back, I'm working out, what I'm saying, making sure I got to stay straight. You got, when you feel good, when you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
You do good.
You perform better. You show up better.
Come back, for my first meeting, 9:30, 10, boom, 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 running, consecutive meetings until, I go and pick my kids up from school. I come back, I still got some meetings. I'm still tying stuff up. My oldest son, he's playing football. I was his football coach. I may be out there coaching with him or, like right now the season's over. I'm still running appointments. Like I'm still setting stuff up. And so just trying to, make sure that every hour is accounted for.
Mm-hmm. And that's how you spend the true currency, because that really shows the effectiveness. Because one of the things that Marquel taught us, one of our previous guests, is be an optimized CEO to run an optimized and efficient company. And it's like you have control over that, because most people will be like, oh, my time, I don't have anything. I don't know what to do with it. But you were like, no, I get to wake up early enough to determine what I'm going to do with my time, to see how I'm spending what I desire to do. And that level of control, that's why you do entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
That's the why.
For sure.
And to emphasize on the schedule thing, I actually learned this as well from Gary Keller, the one thing, time blocking. That's huge. That was a game, that's one of the books I strongly recommend for people. If you haven't read it, check it out.
That and The Alchemist.
Yeah. We have a running theme. She loves.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to mention that because I was going to ask.
It's all good. But no, so, yeah, but we talked about the time blocking, because a lot of people, they might wake up, not saying you do, but they may wake up at like 5 a.m. and then 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Yeah, I'm grinding, doing the things, but you really wasn't as productive as you could be. You had some that I'm going to take a drink, I'm going to get some coffee, or I'm going to do some, distraction stuff. But if you really just carve out 4 hours where you really are just honed in and no distractions, no outside communications, the phone's not humming, you can get way more accomplished than having a 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then dilly down in between. So yeah, time blocking was huge for me and my business, and I agree with the schedule and being very intentional with it.
Yeah, exactly. I got my girl. Exactly. She literally put the key in the schedule. She be like, okay, cool. The first 10 minutes, key. We're going to talk and just catch up. And then now we get to business. I was like, oh, you schedule in the key. That way, like you said, you don't have as
be
much
intentional
lost
with the time. Yep.
For sure. Yeah. So I used to be loose with the time, but,
now you're intentional with it.
Yeah, now you're intentional. With it.
So what would you say, since we was talking about be some impactful works that, have helped shape, molded, get you to where you are right now?
Definitely God is up there at the top.
Okay.
God is right up there at the top, man, because, there's no way that I would even be here, if I wasn't, granted the grace, to wake up this morning. We all got, no day is promised, right? So we got to take advantage of each day, So, man, I thank God every day. Like, man, I'm looking at, my wife, man, I got 3, beautiful kids. We was trying to get a girl, man, but I ended up with three kings.
I
so
know that
I'm raising them up right now. They watching me. Every step, man. It's like my little shadows.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So, I'm just blessed, man, and playing professional basketball, man. I didn't even think this was, even possible, man. I didn't think I was marriage material, But like I said, man, God spared me, man. He spared me, man. He got me out right in time.
Just in time.
He got me out right in time.
The nick of time. One day too late.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. So, but man, I'm loving what I'm doing now, man. I kind of feel like a financial detective, man, with my clients, and really just solving problems, kind of figuring out like what's the real need, like what are we missing, like, and then just filling that void with like one of the programs that we got. So, every day is fun, and each client is different, but it's something to look forward to every single day.
So go ahead.
What was some of the worst situations that you had to deal with from a client that you brought them back from? Like I just down out, bankruptcy, foreclosure, everything. I don't know how to get back up. What has been some of those people you've been like, come on, it's okay, and your process of getting them back up?
Well, I think really I haven't had a client that was just so bad that I couldn't help them, but changing the way that they saw things was real key. And so there's one program that I help clients with. It's called Debt Free Life. Okay, and this is a program that's designed to help you get out of debt in 9 years or less, including your mortgage, without spending any more money than what you're spending now. Right. And so, right now, if I even say that to you, like, hold on, what is he talking about?
Man, listen, I'm trying to get my mortgage paid down in 10 years too. So I'm not 9 years is better than 10.
And so, what I've done is we identify what we call an inefficient dollar. And this is something that, people do every single day. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say that we're trying to pay off debt and our minimum payment is $50, right? And maybe we got, 6 payments and we're all just, our minimum payments are, whatever they are. Most people try to get out of debt by just paying a little bit more on all of those bills to kind of cut it down, right? But they're using a regular bank account to do it. And so we call that an inefficient dollar, because once you take it out of the bank account, that dollar can't work for you anymore, right? So I create a specially designed policy that has a death benefit as an asset, but it's really a bank, right? And so every dollar that you put in there, you're getting compound interest, right? And once you put money in there, it never leaves. And so when we put money in and it's growing at 4%, and then we take what's called a policy loan from the policy, the company, the bank, lets us use their money. And so we'll pay off that debt while our money is still growing untouched. And so this is a way for my clients to capitalize and use a dollar twice more than just once, right? And so we're able to get them out of debt in half the time by spending the same money.
So let's talk about some, because when we hear insurance and life insurance and stuff like that, we're just like, another bill. I don't want. I'm not now. Timing's bad. But let's talk about like the advantages of like starting today, right now, what you got, and just putting something in motion. How can that, better your future?
So the first thing I tell clients, man, is it's not about what it is. It's about what it does. And so let's just take off the word life insurance altogether.
Okay.
And let's just talk about the problems that we're solving. All right. So the first problem that we got in this country is that, there's 131 billion, families out there. Okay. But most of them rely on 2 incomes to keep a household afloat. Like in most families, the mom and the dad both have to be working. All right. And so what happens if one of them gets hurt or sick? The other one has a hard choice to make. All right. So you're married, right? Your wife gets sick, and now what do? If she works, right? She's on short-term disability, but that's a portion of what she's going to be making now. Now she's getting 60 or 40% of what she's was making, right? So now, do you take off of work to take your wife? Do you be with her every step of the way while she's sick, and now you're missing work, right? Or do you let somebody else take her to work? Take her to the hospital and those doctor's appointments and things like that while you work overtime. Right? That's a hard decision for most people to make, and most people choose their spouse. And so what happens when you do that? These bills don't stop coming, right? The mortgages do, right? Now we're starting to cut down off of, what we're normally accustomed. The lifestyle has changed. And so we will give them a policy that they don't have to die to use, where if they do take some time off, both people can take off time and all the bills will still get paid, right? That's what we call income protection or mortgage protection.
Oh, wow.
All right. So that's one scenario. All right. So let's say that they got kids. The kids are young and you want to put away money for them in college. What are you normally using? You using like a 529 or something like that? Are you just saving it in the bank? All right. But what if there was a way for us to be able to save that money for college and get 7% interest, and that money grows compounded? And so by the time they are, of age, you can pay off the student loans, or maybe they don't want to go to school and you can use it to start their first business.
Yes.
Or buy their first house.
Yeah.
Right? But what if that same program for the kid still protects their life and still protects them if they get hurt or sick, and you need to take off of work? Now you could take off of work and use the same income from their policy so that your bills can be paid and you can be with your kid. You can do it all. All right, so that's two, right? All right, so what if you're like an entrepreneur, right? Because it's all things entrepreneur.
Yes.
All things entrepreneur. So now you're an entrepreneur, right? And shoot, you are your number one asset. And you know how it is to be an entrepreneur, man. Sometimes you got to invest in yourself.
Yep.
So where is the money coming from that you invest? Is it coming from your bank account? Is it coming from the shoebox? All right. What if there was a program for you to be able to get 4% interest? And when you do need to invest in your business, you can leverage it. You can pull it from the life insurance. You can invest in something and create an asset. But the whole time, your money over here is getting compound interest uninterrupted. So that's what we call the infinite banking strategy, right? And so, without going, with every product that I have, like that's normally how I approach clients and try to solve problems for them.
That's powerful.
It's heavy on not talking about what it is, but what it does. Like, we're not going to talk about the product. We'll talk about the solution it can give you, the benefit of using it.
What is an amount, about how much does it cost? Because like you said, a lot of people look at it like, oh, great, it's another bill. But you're talking about it from an invest or a protection vehicle that your funds can go in. What is a range that something like this or programs like this start at? Like, do I have to be a millionaire to get in something like this?
Nah, I mean, everything is built from scratch for each client, because every client is different, and so not everybody is put in the same bucket. Like, you are your own. So our job is we want to tailor this program so that it fits to your budget, right? And so that's normally how we approach it. So whatever your budget is, like, we're gonna make it work for you.
Okay.
Within your means of how things need to be structured.
Yeah. I like that.
So it's pretty much just like finding the unused dead money per se.
Yeah.
Like if you're getting Starbucks coffee every day,
Yeah.
X that out, and
Yeah.
boom, now you can have access to this, and then 3, 5, however long it takes for you to be able to borrow, you now have an asset or tool you can use that is now forever on your side.
So what about some people in the community that may be dealing with ailments, like different things going on, blood issues or things like that? Does that impact their eligibility?
It could, just depending on what it is, but I work with over 30 different companies. And so I'm normally always able to find a company that will help.
Okay.
And so not everybody fits in the same bucket from a health perspective also. And then you got height and weight is a deal too.
So put that donut down. At least until you get insurance.
Or after they do the checkup.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, everything's good after the checkup. You can eat that donut again once the checkup is done.
Let's get the insurance.
Get the blood work done and all that.
Let's get the policy first. Yeah.
That part.
So, but it's cool though. Again, life insurance is not like a sexy thing to talk about, but it's actually fun. Like when you give it like different titles as far as solving problems, and not use the word life insurance. Like I very rarely use the word life insurance when I'm talking to clients, unless it's a situation where you got to let them know, hey, look, this is a life policy, but it's a bank. Right? It's actually, you have to qualify for this. You got to qualify, but it's a bank.
This is probably very similar conversations I have with landlords when it comes to telling about corporate renters and not using the word Airbnb. Because they hear Airbnb, they immediately go left. They think worst case scenario, all the cons.
It's about to be a party.
Yeah, they think all the negatives, none of the positives. So totally understand. So I know you said your big vision, well, your stage you're at right now is duplicating yourself. Continue to duplicate yourself. You brought on some people. What would you say is the long-term goal, the big vision? What are you trying to accomplish, overcome?
Yeah. So the big vision is that I could take, now that I've have, let's say, 200, 400,000 coming in on a monthly basis, like whether I work insurance or not. Now that I'm financially free, I can go to stage 2. Which is, real estate, and now I can start on other projects where now that I don't have to be in this field, now I can go here, and then I can start setting up stuff that way. And then definitely want to be a pillar for the kids, working on writing, books and things like that to kind of build up the community. And so that's another phase that I want to work on, and being a former professional athlete, having, camps and things like that to where I can kind of mix, financial literacy with, athletics. That's another phase. And so I just got to take care of stage 1 first, and then, of course, the other things are going to start to, kind of
take care of themselves. Yeah. It's like getting the engine started, and once the car is revved up, we can go.
Yeah.
I love it.
We can go. So, man, I want to do like an event where, I get like, let's say, like a Kevin Hart or something, you know what I mean? Like one of the artists that I like, and actually put on the show myself and be backstage with some of my favorite artists. But, I'm getting paid for this, you know what I'm saying? It's my show, but I booked you to come and do the show, and, and so that's kind of some of the stuff that I want.
I was like, hey, dream the dream. You never know who you talking to and what you can get access to. So I say put it out when you have that vision and dream. Because so I know tonight is a fight, and it's a huge fight. And I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, and he was like, how much you think they making for the fight? I was like, I don't know. So he looked it up. How much y'all think they're making tonight?
60 million.
How much you thinking?
100 million.
It's 80 million.
Oh, right.
80 million. Yeah, it's literally right in between. So have y'all thought, so this is, no telling how many weeks, months it took to plan this one day, but this one day is now valued at 80 million.
Yep.
No matter come win, loss, barring nobody dies, they're going to get 80 million, right, for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
What does an $80 million day look like for you? And when literally I was like, oh my God, like, what is the most expensive day you thought about for yourself? And then what are you doing that vision is big enough that someone would pay you $80 million for what you do? And that was like, dream bigger. It was like, if you can't think of a vision of what you would do, so you just mentioned some things that you want to do and people you want to have, let that be your $80 million day. That you come out and you do, what are you doing that day? And it has Kevin Hart. It has this person. It has that person. because that is their $80 million day. That is what they're set to make tonight. And think about what is an $80 million day. Because when we went to Dubai World Expo and we saw their temporary display was $6.85 billion. And I was like, somebody had a dream big enough for somebody to write the check and cut the check for $6.85 billion. So literally, what vision do I have? Is it big enough to contain the amount of money that I envision making? Is my vision on $1 billion level?
Lars.
All things entrepreneur.
So in conclusion, is there anybody that you model your day-to-day business stuff off of? Not book stuff, but like any entrepreneurs that you got an eye on that you're like, you watch how they move and kind of like pull from, per se, from a distance?
Absolutely, man. And shout out to, some of my mentors, Ike Manello and Edward Pritchett. Both of those guys are, helping me kind of set up like my structure. And so I look at them, I got a chance to be around them all the time, whether it's virtually or in person. And so Edward is, somebody that's worth $100 million right now. And he has 9 different businesses, including one of the ones that's making, over $500,000 a month from insurance. And so he's all across the board. Ike is a guy that actually brought me into this industry. And, I've actually watched him like take his business to the next level. Like Ike did something earlier this year, and he told me he was getting ready to do it. But this guy he made $143,000 in a week, and just took the rest of the month off. And so
that's what I'm thinking of sometimes. I'm like, that's why you got to stay in the struggle. Because sometimes if you get too padded, you can be like, oh, what is there to even do? I'm good. And it's like, no, we got to keep you focused.
Yeah.
Like, we got to keep you grinded.
So one of my main things is like, man, yeah, it's great to do well, but I want to have a scheduled time to unwind with my family and travel, So every quarter I want to be taking my family somewhere, to where we're seeing something monumental, something like life-changing.
What's top 3?
That's a good question. We definitely getting ready to go to Dubai here next year.
No such thing as coincidence. I mentioned that.
So that's one of the things I want to scratch off the bucket list. Africa is one, like going on an Africa tour.
Safari.
Did you just come from Africa?
Yeah, I was like, we went over there. And we showed all the visuals, and everybody's like, wait, it doesn't look like what they told us it looked like. I was like, I know, it is not that. And literally my cousin, he sold everything, and he moved over there to Nairobi, to East Africa. So it was definitely an amazing, I haven't been to South Africa yet, but I've been to East Africa, West Africa, North Africa, and it's favorite destination.
I'm definitely trying to go. I ain't been.
Either of us.
I'm definitely.
Oh my gosh!
Take photos.
We had an ambassador on,
Yeah.
Yeah. We can definitely connect you. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Oh yeah. But you said okay. So you said
Dubai.
Africa. Yeah, Dubai, Africa.
Yeah, and then just taking my kids back to like the different places that I played professionally.
Yeah.
So
throughout Europe.
So everywhere that I touch, I want to be able to take my kids and say, like, this is where I was at one particular time. And so
that's
cool.
beautiful.
So complete side question. I just got to ask, because a few times I've gone to Europe, obviously I have a build and, I'm pretty in shape, but I've been mistaken for athletes all the time when I go to Europe. Has that happened?
LeBron James?
No, I've never gotten LeBron James, but has that happened to you in your times?
Yeah.
Which person they said you look like? And
well, people say I look like Magic, but Magic is 6'10".
I'm just like, dang, y'all don't check Google something?
Yeah, but in Europe they'll say all kind of stuff,
right?
But and so when I was over there, whether you play, a professional sport or not, there's not very many black males in a lot of these places, and so you hot now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're hot. You might as well be in the league.
Well, they were
you know what I'm
flying into
saying?
Nashville, so don't act like it's just Europe.
Look, you know what I'm saying? And so when you eating dinner, you have people coming by, they ain't seen black people, you know what I'm saying?
Taking photos.
And they taking photos. And so when I was over there, one of the funniest things that happened is I was in Poland, and I ain't seen like another black person in a long time, and I seen a black dude in the grocery store, and I hugged him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, "What's up, bruh? What's up, bruh?"
And you always say nothing was 100% understood.
Bruh, I love you, dog. I love you, man.
Hey, when me and my boy, we went to Spain for a week, same thing. We was like, God, and everyone, again, no offense, but everyone was significantly shorter than us, and we're looking like twin towers. And I'm just like, man, I'm glad you came with me because I couldn't do this by myself.
You couldn't fight them off. You can't fight them off by yourself.
People asking questions and just, what do you do? What team you play for? I'm just like, I'm just on vacation. I ain't play for
Hey, you gotta go with the flow sometimes, man. Sometimes, I mean, you that far away from the home. Yeah, I play for the Saints. What's up?
Hey,
What's up?
Depending on who's asking, I
I
might go along with it.
Sometimes you gotta go. You know.
Depending on who's asking, I may go along with it.
I was over there. The dude said, "Hey, man, you know Tupac?" I was like, "Yeah, bro, I know Tupac. I know, yeah." So.
Well, hey, we were over in the middle of East Africa, and they were like, "You heard of Kamas?" And I was like, "Yeah, Banket." I was like, "Yeah, yep, all of them." They were asking about T.I., all that. I was like, "Yep, they know Atlanta history, and it's so crazy. I love it. When they say Atlanta influences
They
everything,
ain't lying.
Atlanta influences everything."
For sure.
So in conclusion, how would you want people to get in contact, stay engaged, connect with you?
Man, really, I'm going to trail everything to my IG, Secure the Legacy, at Secure the Legacy, shoot me a follow, I follow back. I'm going to be dropping a lot of content on, kind of a lot of stuff that we talked about here. And then life, things of that nature. And then my website, securingthelegacy.com.
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 I love it. From one Allen to another. How did it feel?
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm on this, and again, we talk about it off camera. The fact your company's called Secure the Legacy, my company's called Legacy Over Currency Property. No court, like
there must be something with the
there's
Allens.
probably there might be some heritage somewhere. We'll look it up.
We'll might find out.
Yeah, we
gonna
gonna
I
look.
can see it. I definitely can see it.
The shoulders, in the shoulders. You know what I'm saying? You got your shoulders. We got the same shoulders, bro.
I know.
You can't knock the shoulder.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of All Things Entrepreneur. I've been your co-host, Jessica Myers.
And it's your boy, Errol J. Allen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Everett Allen, for joining us today.
Man, I
if
appreciate
you
y'all.
liked what you heard, be sure to like and subscribe for more. And be sure to follow him on his website. As always, you got it. Let's get it.
Let's go.
go.